In 1652, the Spanish crown operated a total commercial monopoly over its Caribbean territories. By law, colonists were absolutely forbidden from trading with foreign ships or purchasing foreign goods. Enforcing that law was nearly impossible on the western edge of Puerto Rico, in the remote colonial outpost of San Germán. This map shows San Germán sat far from the governor in San Juan. Because Spanish fleets rarely crossed the rugged mountains, locals faced severe shortages. Yet just days south sat Curaçao, a massive Dutch transit hub overflowing with exactly the supplies they needed. Dutch merchants held warehouses full of spices, tools, and high-quality European textiles. The rigid trade rules of the Spanish crown created a massive economic vacuum. Filling it offered immense wealth for anyone willing to risk the lethal punishments of the Inquisition to move those goods. Two allied groups stepped up to run the supply lines: the Antunes family, a network of Portuguese crypto-Jewish refugees who needed capital to survive, and the Rodriguez de Olivencias, who held high-ranking political offices in San Germán. Antonio Antunes operated highly productive cacao farms on the western coast. Because Spanish silver coin was scarce, the cartel used those raw cacao harvests as liquid currency to balance the books with Dutch captains. The immediate hurdle was logistics. Any foreign vessel caught attempting to dock in a Spanish harbor faced immediate seizure by authorities. To bypass the embargo, they used the arribada forzosa, a humanitarian clause in Spanish maritime law allowing a foreign ship to legally enter a port to make emergency repairs after a storm. A Dutch vessel would arrive at an unmonitored bay near San Germán and file an official affidavit claiming they had torn sails or leaking casks. The local magistrates who reviewed and approved these emergency claims conveniently belonged to the Olivencia family. By daylight, the paperwork showed a stranded ship receiving biscuits and water out of Christian charity. Under the cover of darkness, local crews rowed out to the ships, trading Antonio Antunes's cacao and tobacco for Dutch textiles and enslaved laborers. They mathematically weaponized the empire's own legal exceptions against itself. Running a multi-decade smuggling operation carried a severe vulnerability. For a crypto-Jewish family trading with Protestant Dutchmen, a single whispered denunciation to a local priest would destroy them. To secure operations, the Antunes and Olivencias intermarried, forming an unbreakable kinship web. Hiring outsiders risked leaks. Betraying the business meant destroying family. They also placed land deeds under clean Olivencia in-laws, making it impossible for inspectors to confiscate wealth. This structure faced the ultimate stress test in 1652. The Inquisition launched sweeping investigations across the Caribbean into a suspected Portuguese conspiracy, arresting local merchants. Captured merchants in Havana and Cartagena confessed under extreme pressure, giving up ledgers and shipping routes that pointed directly back to the Puerto Rican coast. The San Germán network held firm. When arrest orders arrived, the families used their accumulated smuggling profits to tie the Inquisition up in years of legal appeals, even buying forged certificates of purity of blood to clear their ancestry on paper. By treating their family tree as corporate security, they built a closed-loop system immune to the Spanish Empire's deadliest regulatory weapon. The Antunes-Olivencia alliance outlasted the inquisitorial pressures of the 17th century. The massive amounts of capital they pulled from the Channery colony stayed on the island, slowly integrating into the legitimate regional economy of the western coast. Over the following decades, the descendants of this smuggling network used that illicit wealth to fund the physical establishment of major modern Puerto Rican cities, like Cabo Rojo and Mayagüez. We usually read history as a set of rules handed down by kings in distant palaces who dictated the terms of global trade. The actual economic foundation of the Caribbean was built from the bottom up, by rogue families standing on muddy beaches at midnight, rewriting the rules of the empire.